Viewer discretion is advised. One of my subscribers had asked that I would do a story on Aija Brown. So I looked into it, and I was floored to find out that this case is so similar to that of Malia Davis, to whereas you have another mother who leaves her child in the custody of a monster. Naria's mother's name is Aija Brown. And Aija Brown said that someone needed a ride. So she left her daughter in the care of some guy she said she'd been knowing, were dating for about a year. And she supposedly has been knowing him all of her life. But evidently, you really didn't know him. The place where she left her daughter for some perverted individual to rape and kill was at a $30 motel. I'm quite sure most people know what goes on at these cheap motels. Prostitution, perversion, drugs, and all other sorts of illegal activities. So my first question was, why is she at a $30 motel with a 17-month-old baby? She said that she had to take someone, I think a relative somewhere, and that she was going to be right back. One thing I do not understand is why people cannot take their children with them. When I had my daughter, I took my daughter everywhere I went. And if it was a place that I couldn't take her, it was a place that I did not need to be. So I took my daughter everywhere. My child's mother used to get angry when she wanted me to take her someplace. I took my daughter with us. And she would get mad. Leave the baby at home. No, I am not going to leave my baby at home. The whole while my mind will be on my baby, wondering, is she all right? So to eliminate all of that, I'm going to take my baby with me. If you can't deal with it, tough. Aija, she said that she left her daughter with a boyfriend that she'd been knowing for about a year, and with a school friend she trusted. When you got back and you saw your daughter in the house, in the motel room, where was the boyfriend and the old school friend? Did you call the police then? I don't think so, because you said that you were giving the baby CPR in the back seat of the car. Did you sell your daughter as a sex slave? I've heard of people doing that before, and this seems as if to be one of those cases. One thing that really stuck out about this is that when I saw pictures of Naria and Aija, I don't see no men. Where is the child's father? I've noticed that a lot of women, they want a child, but they don't want the man. But in the end, they realize that that is an incomplete relationship. And the child, you're doing a child a disservice, because a child needs a father and a mother in their life. And another thing that is real strange about this case is they're not talking about it. They're not saying nothing. They don't even want to bring up the suspect's name. And I find that very strange. Maybe this case is something like Malia Davis, where they're really digging to trying to find out the real suspects in this case. I mean, could it have been the mother? Could it have been that friend she said she's been knowing all of her life? Or was it the boyfriend? What did the DNA results say from that? If she was raped, I'm quite sure they left some type of DNA evidence. And I'm wondering, was Aija a liked person? Because who would do something like that to a child? It's just the same old story. Some neglectful mother puts her child in harm's way. The child ends up dead. Now the mother simply sobbing and crying, looking for some sympathy. You women get no sympathy. They should line Aija Brown, Brittany Bowens, and the rest of these filicide practicing mothers, line them up and put them in front of a firing squad. And I know people probably hate to hear this, but I feel as if that a child's behavior should be closely monitored. Because these people that are murderers and killers, what type of children were they? What type of behavior did they have as kids? This is what this dummy said when she recalled her final moments with her baby. I said, baby, I love you, and I'm going to let you go with him, and I'll be right back. To me, that sounds like a goodbye. It sounds to me you was telling your baby goodbye. You said that I love you, and I'm going to let you go with him. With who? Why would you do that when you said that you were going right around the corner and come back? Your big lazy ass couldn't take your child with you? That is a problem. And it says that she returned to find Naria had been horrifically assaulted. With the lethargic youngster suffering injuries that included punctured lungs and fractured ribs. Why didn't this silly woman call the paramedics right then? Why didn't she say, hey man, I left a baby with my boyfriend, and give up some names? But you put her in a car and took her to the hospital yourself. I just don't understand that. What you are saying and what the evidence says is not matching up. And woman, you will be in prison before this summer's up. I mean, a lot of young ladies, they disobey their parents, hook up with guys that the parents don't like, obsessed with having a child. Then when they had a child, Mama, can you watch it for me? They get on my nerves. Aija is a silly and stupid woman. She did not leave a child with a relative. She left a child with a guy she's been knowing that she says for a year, who, in my opinion, is the dope man. And when I look at this picture right here, I don't know who that lady is that's squatting, but that's not a position that usually women squat. They don't take pictures like that. That's how guys at the penitentiary take pictures. So when I look at this picture of her, I say that this woman is gay, and she is very, very confused about what she wants to do in life. As I say, Your sexual preference has nothing to do with things in life, but there has to be a reason why this woman made a stupid decision to leave her daughter, her 17-month-old daughter, in a $30 motel with a guy she's been knowing for a year. The very strange thing about this case is how it's being kept quiet. The police department doesn't want to release any information. The family doesn't want to release any information. I saw another guy that was doing a story on this, and he said that the family wanted him to bag off. Why would they want him to bag off? And as I say, when I look at some of these pictures of her with these suspect women, who was the other person in the hotel room that she said she left with a child? The person she said she's been knowing all of her life. Is that person being investigated? What about these surveillance cameras at the motel? I'm quite sure it captured images of someone entering and leaving the room. Aija goes on to say that when her daughter was in the hospital, she was there every day. She continued to say that when the baby was in the hospital, she promised her she would never leave her. Now ain't that a bitch? Excuse my French. You left your child with some pervert. Now you hollering about you not gonna leave her side. Lady, kill yourself. These unintelligent people today think that they can tell any kind of lie, fable, tale, and that an intelligent person is going to believe it. I just can't understand what is the problem with people today. Why there's this fascination with going to prison for the rest of your life. Why would you want kids, children, if you don't want to take the responsibility of watching them, taking them with you? And as usual, when things go wrong, first thing come out their mouth, I'm sorry. Sorry is not going to help this at all. Now, this is the bum that supposedly did this to this child. The sucker's name is Baron Taji Spurlock. If a guy, I'm talking to the ladies, if a guy tells you how beautiful you are and how fine and sexy you are, and when you look in that mirror and you do not see that, the guy's BSing you. And the biggest problem is that y'all don't even care. As long as you're getting a little love for, what, a day or 2, month, year, you cool. And if you should happen to lose your child in the process, that's all cool too. Because you got your son, huh? I don't know how many cases we've had just this year where some parent or boyfriend or family friend has killed somebody's child, all because somebody was too trusting with somebody that they really didn't know. We need to push for stiffer penalties for people that harm children. They need stiffer penalties and not the usual spank on the wrist. These children that are losing their lives, there's no telling what type of contribution that these children could have made to society. But now, we will never know. These babies, they need protecting. We the people should push for stiffer penalties for anyone that harms a child. Whether it's a parent, step-parent, family friend, priest, or whoever, there needs to be stiffer penalties for people that violate children. I put it like this. If things don't change in regards to people being punished for harming children, get ready for vigilante type killings. Because if the law enforcement is not going to do anything about it, it's up to people to do something about it. And we've been tired years ago. We're tired of it happening. We're tired of waiting on legislation to be pushed. We're just tired of it. And so, since the police aren't going to do anything about it, the judges and the courts, the government, it is up to the people to stop this mess. So if you don't want all hell to break loose, I suggest that the government get up, do something about this, and stop it.